Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive all about uh, getting your personal finances in order.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover,
Ancient classic.
a book that you all chose because you want to really get a grip on your money.
It's a popular one for sure.
So this book it's a pretty popular one,
Yeah.
and for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
It lays out a pretty clear path to reaching that financial freedom that so many of us are looking for.
Definitely a solid roadmap to getting your finances where you want them to be.
Yeah.
We're gonna break down Ramsey's main ideas today.
Okay.
Walk you through all of his famous 7 baby steps,
Perfect.
and we'll even throw in some different perspectives from people who have read and reviewed the book.
Yeah, because we've got a bunch of reviews
And
to pull from.
Yeah, we've got a really diverse set of opinions on this one.
That's awesome.
Should be interesting.
To kick things off, can you give us a quick rundown on who Dave Ramsey is?
Sure. So Dave Ramsey, he's become a pretty well-known name.
I've heard of him when it comes to getting out of debt.
Yeah.
He's a financial advisor,
Mm-hmm.
an author,
Okay.
radio host, the whole 9 yards.
Wow, the whole package deal.
But here's the interesting part.
Okay.
He actually went bankrupt himself pretty early on in his life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, talk about turning a setback into a powerful purpose.
That's incredible.
And that's really what fuels his mission,
Mm-hmm.
to help other people avoid those same pitfalls.
Avoid making the same mistakes.
Yeah. And that experience actually led him to create his 7 baby steps.
Uh-huh.
It's this plan that he created that has helped millions of people get out of debt
Wow.
and build wealth.
Millions. That's amazing.
It's pretty impressive.
Let's dive into those baby steps.
Okay, let's do it.
Starting with baby step 1.
Baby step 1, it's all about creating a safety net.
Okay.
You know, you got to have that quick win to build some momentum.
Yeah, gotta get the ball rolling.
And Ramsey calls this the $1,000 emergency fund.
Okay, so it's like having a little cushion for those unexpected expenses that seem to always pop up
Yeah, those always seem to come at the worst time.
when you least expect it.
It's about knowing you can handle things like a flat tire or a broken appliance without going into debt.
Without having to put it on a credit card or something.
Right.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it's all about being prepared.
Now that we have that emergency fund built up,
Okay.
what is baby step 2 all about?
Baby step 2 is where we tackle debt head on.
Okay,
All debt except for your mortgage.
gotcha.
And Ramsey's strategy for this is called the debt snowball.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a popular one.
Isn't that where you list out all of your debts from smallest to largest?
Yes.
And focus on paying off the smallest one first?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
And, you know, Ramsey's a big believer in the psychological power of this approach.
What do you mean by that?
But just think about it. When you knock out that smallest debt,
Okay.
you get this sense of accomplishment,
Yeah.
like you're making real progress.
Like you're really doing something.
Exactly. And that feeling motivates you to keep going.
Okay.
It's all about building momentum and overcoming that feeling of being stuck.
Feeling overwhelmed by debt.
Right. Because sometimes that's the hardest part.
Yeah, just getting started can be so hard.
Absolutely. Those quick wins can really keep you going.
Totally agree with that.
However, it's worth noting that some experts disagree with pausing retirement contributions while you're tackling debt,
Okay.
which is something Ramsey advises during this step.
Okay.
So it's something to keep in mind and do your own research on.
So even within that step, there are different opinions.
There are different schools of thought, for sure.
Okay. Interesting point. Now, on to baby step 3.
Baby step 3 is all about building a bigger emergency fund,
Okay.
aiming for 3 to 6 months worth of expenses.
So this is like the supersize emergency fund.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Okay.
It's for those bigger life curveballs.
Yeah.
You know, things like job loss or serious medical issues.
Things you can't really plan for.
Right? And one of the reviews, Debt Free Doctor, had a crazy example
Okay.
about how much money people lose over a lifetime just by having car payments.
Oh, wow.
The writer said you could be missing out on $3 million in potential investment returns.
That's a crazy amount of money.
It's a really eye-opening figure.
It really puts things into perspective.
Yeah, it makes you think about how much debt can really cost you in the long run.
Yeah. And not just the interest you're paying, but the money you're not making because that money is tied up in debt.
Exactly. It's all about opportunity cost.
Okay, so we've built up our emergency fund. We've tackled our debt.
We're making progress.
What's next?
Now it's time to shift gears
Okay.
and start thinking about the future. Baby step 4 is all about investing 15% of your household income into retirement.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're starting to plan for the long haul.
Ramsey is a big believer in starting early.
Oh, absolutely. The earlier the better when it comes to investing.
Time is on your side the earlier you start.
Yeah, but it's important to note that even Ramsey himself
Okay.
and other experts, they say this percentage might need to be adjusted based on your individual situation.
Okay.
It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Right. Your mileage may vary.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So we're saving for retirement? What is baby step 5?
Baby step 5 is all about saving for your children's college education.
College is so expensive these days.
It really is.
It's definitely smart to plan ahead.
No doubt about it.
What does Ramsey recommend for saving for college?
He recommends a few options, like 529 plans
Okay.
and ESAs, which are tax-advantaged savings accounts, specifically for education.
Okay, so they're kind of like
They're designed just for that.
designed just for paying for school.
Yeah, and he also stresses the importance of understanding how financial aid works.
Financially, that's a whole other beast.
It can be complicated.
Yes. And there's some great resources out there to help you navigate that.
Absolutely.
Like the link to studentaid.gov that was mentioned in one of the reviews.
Yes. Start 100K. They have some good advice on that.
Yeah, resources like that can be super helpful.
They can really make a big difference.
Now on to baby step 6,
Okay?
which I know has sparked some debate.
Yeah, this one's a bit controversial.
Baby step 6 is all about paying off your mortgage early.
Yeah, that's the one that gets people talking.
Okay, let's unpack that controversy.
Well, some experts argue that it's not always the most financially savvy move.
Okay.
You know, there's the whole opportunity cost thing. They
Mhm.
say you could potentially earn more by investing that money instead of using it to pay down your mortgage faster.
So you're losing out on potential gains
That's
by,
exactly. You could be putting that money to work elsewhere.
yeah, and some folks might just like the peace of mind
Yeah,
that
right.
comes with being completely mortgage free.
That's a big factor for a lot of people.
And the Happy Saver,
Yeah.
a reviewer from New Zealand,
Yeah.
brought up a really interesting point.
What was that?
They talked about how in their country, housing costs are really high.
Yeah. Housing affordability is a big issue in a lot of places.
And mortgages are a huge burden for a lot of people.
It's a major financial stressor.
So geographical and economic factors definitely play a role
They definitely come into play.
in how people approach this step.
It's all about understanding those nuances and figuring out what works best for your specific situation.
Yeah, there's no one right answer for everyone.
Exactly.
Right.
And that leads us to the final step.
Baby step 7, bring it on.
Baby step 7 is all about building wealth and giving back.
So after all that hard work and discipline,
Mm-hmm.
you reach a point where you can really focus on growing your wealth and
Yeah.
being generous.
Exactly.
I love that.
This step really emphasizes that financial freedom isn't just about hoarding money.
Yeah.
It's about using your resources to live a more fulfilling life and make a positive impact.
Debt-free doctor put it perfectly. They
Mhm.
said wealth amplifies character.
That's a great quote.
It really speaks to the heart of Ramsey's philosophy.
It really does.
It's not just about accumulating wealth. It's about using it for good.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered all 7 baby steps.
Yeah, that was a whirlwind tour.
That was a lot of info.
It was a lot to take in.
Are there any potential drawbacks to Ramsey's approach?
That's a good question.
I mean, we've heard a lot of positives,
Yeah.
but what about the other side of the coin?
Well, like any financial advice, there are pros and cons to Ramsey's approach.
Okay.
The reviews we have definitely highlight a mix of opinions.
Okay, let's dig into that. What are some of the pros that people tend to point out?
Well, the biggest one is definitely the clear structure of the 7 baby steps.
Yeah.
People love having that roadmap, that sense of direction.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks down this potentially overwhelming goal of achieving financial freedom
Yeah, it can be daunting.
into these smaller, more manageable chunks.
Right. It's like a step-by-step guide to getting your finances in order.
Exactly. And the advice itself is very actionable.
Mm.
It's not just vague platitudes, it's about concrete steps you can actually take.
Right. It's not just a bunch of fluff.
Yeah, there's real substance there.
And I've heard from so many people that Ramsey is incredibly motivating.
Oh, yeah. He's a master motivator.
He has this knack for inspiring people to take control of their money.
Absolutely. His own story going from bankruptcy to financial success is incredibly inspiring.
Yeah, it's a true testament to his methods.
And he shares tons of stories from people who have followed his plan and completely transformed their lives.
The proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Exactly.
He really emphasizes that behavior change piece, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about knowing what to do, but actually doing it.
He addresses those psychological barriers that often hold people back.
Okay.
Fear, procrastination, those limiting beliefs we have around money.
Those can be tough to overcome.
They can be, but Ramsey gives you the tools to do it.
Okay, so lots of good stuff there, but let's talk about the cons.
Okay, let's get into it.
What are some of the criticisms that people raise about Ramsey's approach?
One common criticism is that his approach can be a bit too simplistic.
Okay.
Personal finance is complex,
Yeah, there are a lot of factors to consider.
and everyone's situation is different. So a one-size-fits-all approach may not be the best fit for everyone.
So it might need some tweaking to really fit your individual needs.
Precisely. And his stance on debt is another point of contention.
Okay.
He's a big advocate for becoming completely debt-free, but that might not be realistic or even desirable for everyone.
Right. The Czech City review brought up a good counterpoint to that.
Yeah, what did they say?
They talked about how responsible credit card use can actually be beneficial.
Okay.
You know, for example, building a good credit score
Right.
can help you qualify for better loan terms in the future.
That's a valid point.
So it's all about finding that balance.
It's about weighing the pros and cons.
Another comment in his work.
Yeah, that's true.
Start 100K mentioned that while his faith is obviously a driving force behind his mission, it might not resonate with all listeners.
All right, not everyone shares the same beliefs.
So it's something to be aware of and decide if it aligns with your own values.
Absolutely.
And this brings up a broader point. It's always smart to approach any financial advice
Okay,
from any source with a critical eye.
I agree with that.
Don't just blindly follow someone's recommendations.
Definitely do your own research.
Right. It's about understanding the principles,
Yeah.
weighing the pros and cons, and then adapting the advice to fit your unique situation.
It's about taking ownership of your financial decisions.
So what does this all mean for our listener?
Okay.
What are the key takeaways they should keep in mind as they explore the Total Money Makeover?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the book offers a clear and actionable framework for achieving financial fitness.
Okay.
But it's crucial to approach it thoughtfully, considering multiple perspectives, and ultimately making choices that align with your own values and goals.
I love that it's about empowering yourself to take control of your finances and create a plan that truly works for you.
It's about becoming the architect of your own financial future.
Okay, so we've covered the 7 baby steps and some of the pros and cons of Ramsey's approach.
We've done a pretty thorough analysis.
But now I'm curious to hear what resonated with you the most.
That's a good question.
Which baby step feels like the most urgent one for you to tackle right now?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, it's baby step 3, building that bigger emergency fund.
Okay.
Knowing I have that financial cushion just gives me so much peace of mind. It takes the stress out of unexpected expenses.
I totally get that having that safety net makes a world of difference. Yeah, it really does. Having that safety net can make you feel so much more secure.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover, it seems like there's a lot to take away from his approach.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Those 7 baby steps provide a clear roadmap for anyone who's looking to improve their finances.
It's like having a blueprint for building a solid financial foundation.
Exactly. And even though, we've talked about some potential drawbacks and different perspectives, you can't deny that Ramsey's plan has helped millions of people achieve financial freedom.
It's really inspiring to hear those success stories.
It is.
But I think the most important thing to remember is that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah, you got to take what works for you,
Right.
adapt it to your own situation, and maybe even tweak things a bit along the way.
So for you, our listener, as you think about your own financial journey,
Yeah.
what aspects of Dave Ramsey's approach are you going to take with you? Which baby step feels the most urgent for you right now?
Yeah.
And where do you think his advice might need a little tweaking to fit your life?
Those are some really good questions to ponder.
Yeah, and remember, you don't have to figure this all out on your own.
Oh, definitely not.
There are so many resources out there to help you on your financial journey.
Absolutely. Ramsey's website is a great starting point.
Okay.
Tons of articles, tools, even online courses.
Wow.
And of course, there are countless other personal finance experts
Right.
sharing their wisdom out there.
Yeah, it's all about finding what works for you and keep learning
Yeah.
and growing.
Knowledge is power when it comes to finances.
I love that quote.
It's true.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, remember,
Yeah.
taking control of your finances is totally achievable.
Good.
It takes effort and discipline, but the rewards are so worth it.
It's an investment in your future.
It is. It's all about creating a life where money is no longer a source of stress,
Right.
but a tool to help you live your best life
Yeah.
and make a positive impact on the world.
That's what it's all about.
Beautifully said. And that's exactly what Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover is all about.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been fun.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.
See you then.
Into a topic that you're passionate about